Hello and welcome back to Hour of Code. My name's Jimmy, and if you don't like the sound of my voice, you can just hit the mute button at the bottom of the video and you can watch with subtitles, because subtitles are great. Anyway, in this tutorial, we are going to build an app that allows you to submit problems that you see in your city to a centralized database. So let's say you're walking down the street and you see a broken street lamp, or a pothole, or dog poop on the street, and you're like, that's a problem, we should fix that. You just take out this app and you click the submit button, which you can see over here. And what does that do? That's going to put a little marker on a map. It's going to take you to another screen where you can just say, hey, I see a broken street lamp. And when you click the submit button, what that does is it sends your report along with date and time and location to a centralized database, which can be seen over here. This is a centralized database with a company called Airtable. We're going to show you how to connect your app to an Airtable spreadsheet, and you're going to be making reports all over the place. It's going to be terrific. Hooray! So let's get started. The first thing that you need for this app is a map. So we're going to just type in map and drop this in. And we should have a map. Really wonderful. And again, if you're using the Thunkable Live app, which is an app that allows you to test your apps in real time, you can see what this looks like. So I'm just going to click Thunkable Live. Here's my phone. I dropped a map, and there we go. There's a map. Hooray! Next, we want to put a little section for a button that says submit. So you can, when you're opening up the app and you see the map, you just have to hit the submit button, and that's going to take you to another screen and save your location. So let's add a row. Again, if you're just tuning in, a row is a really cool container that allows you to put things in the row, and then you can organize where the container is, where the row is on the screen. So we're just going to add a little button, put a button into the row. And let's make this button look a little nicer, because right now it's just kind of ugly. We're just going to say submit, change the button's text to be submit. And again, if you're testing your app in real time, it should look like this right now. So the first thing I'm going to do is change the background color of the button to be a light blue. Let's see. There we go. And then we're going to change the text color to be white, so it pops out a little bit and you can see it. And let's make this button a little nicer. We can change the border radius to be 100, so now it's a little curved. We can make the font bold. We can make the button raised. We can also give it a solid color border. So I'm just going to do that. Follow along with what I'm doing here. There we go. We've got a nicer looking button. Now we want to make the row component, which is holding the button, just to be the size of the button. So I'm going to click on row. I'm going to go to height over here and click fit contents. And just like that, smaller button. So now this is what your app should look like. You've got a map and you've got a little submit button at the bottom. So it looks a little squished, and we want to give this button a little breathing room. So just click on the button. And then go all the way down here to margin, and we're going to put some space in between the top and the bottom of the button. I'm just going to write in 10 pixels for top, 10 pixels for bottom, and this is what that does. Just adds a little bit more space between. I could show you what that looks like without it. Without it, it gets a little smaller, and with it, your button has some breathing room. Isn't that awesome? Great. Next, what are we going to do? Next, we need to add another screen. So to add another screen, you just click this plus sign over here. Great. And if we go back to the original app, we have a few things on this screen that we need. We're going to set this up in a similar way. We're going to need a submit button at the bottom. We're also going to need to show the user, hey, you need to write your issue here. So we'll get a label for that. This is called a text input. This thing right over here, text input. This is a component that allows your user to type things in. And then we're just going to get another label to say, hey, this is the date and time. And we'll get a date component and a time component. And that's all you need right now for this app. So let's just go back. Here's our blank screen. How do we build this? First, we're going to add in a row. And then we're going to put a button in the row. And we're going to say, let's say submit. We can change the text of the button. And if you want to make the button's color the same color as the button on screen 1, we're just going to go to this page, click on the button, click background color, copy these numbers and letters, go over here, click on submit, background color, and paste them into the same section. And now we have the same thing. Next, we can just make the border radius be 100, so it's slightly curved, solid border around the button, so it's a little nicer. Again, if you want to get that exact same color, all you have to do is go to the color section for that button on the first page, and then just go back, click on that button, and we're going to go to color for border. Just drop that in. Now we have a nice button. Hello. Then just click on the row. We want the row to be the same height as the button, so we just scroll up to height and say fit contents. And now we have a much smaller, a nice small row. It's a thing. Anyway, we want to click on the button again, and we just want to give some cushion in between the top and the bottom of the button. So we're just going to go to margin, type in 10, and for top and 10 for bottom. So now there's a little bit of space for the button. Isn't that cool? And so let's go back and see what else we need. So we're going to get a label and then a text input. So let's go get a label, drag it in, and we need a text input. I'm just saying hi to someone. And then we need a text input, and I'm going to drag that right under the label. So in this label, we want the user to know, hey, you should type whatever issue you see here. So let's just write issue, and put a colon. We can make the font size 30, so it's a little larger. And here we can say something along the lines of, please write, let's see what we wrote in the other one. Oh, please describe the issue here. Please describe the issue here. And we also want to make the text here a little bigger, so just click on text input, go to advanced, and then text style. And right here for font size, we can make the font size 30. That's a little too big. Let's make it 20. There we go. And next, we need to add another label. Let's go get a label. And we'll drop it in right here. And we'll just have this label say date and time, because we want the user to know that when they submit something that they see, it will also be submitted with a date and time. Let's make the font size for this 30, and we can even put a colon. Let's see over here. Now we need a date component, date input, which we will drag right under there. And we need a time input, which we can put right under the date component. There you go. And again, you can make the font size for these a little larger. Let's make them a little bigger. And now everything is very squished together, as you can see. So we know how to add some space in between these things. We can do that by adding some margin. So let's go here. We can say, hey, put 10 pixels at the bottom. So there's a little bit of space here. Actually, let's make it 30. And everything is a little spaced out now, which is good. So if you're live testing your app as you do this, let's see what this looks like. Just going to click live test, and I'll move this screen up. And you should see something that looks like this. You can see your issue. You can write in your issue over here. This is a text input, so when you click it, a keyboard will appear. And it will also display the date and time. So that's all you need to know for the design. This is part 1. We're going to do a part 2 video. Come back and watch how you program this app, how you connect it to an online spreadsheet. It's going to be great. I'm going to be there. Maybe you'll hear my voice. Maybe you won't. I don't know. Thank you. Bye.